Mike. Good. You muted. You muted, Nomus. Yep. Now you're unmuted. That's okay.
What up, though, everybody? It's your boy Nomus J. Welcome to the D313 SP. We got a very exciting episode, man. Episode 12 for y'all. I can't wait to get it going. First off, you already know I'm joined today by my main man, Daryl, DC1. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's been a wonderful day today. I'm ready for this episode 12. Great show today. We're for a good show. So, ready.
Alrighty. And my other very strong-hearted co-host, 313 Breed. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm so excited for this video, man. I can't stop smiling about it, man. I just feel good, man. I can't wait. I'm eager, man. I'm so ready. Let's go. Let's get it.
All right, and today I gotta be honest. You know what? I'm feeling real good today because we have a very, very special guest with us today. He is a big time podcaster, I believe, on Spotify. Several other platforms, man. He's a former ESPN article writer, Mr. Sergio Rodriquez. Thank you. Welcome to the show, sir.
Boys, thank you guys for having me, man. I feel this is special. I get three. It's a 3-on-1, so don't be. Listen, when the topics start flying, don't triple team me here.
Oh no, we're not gonna do that. No, we wouldn't do that.
All right. You know, one of the hardest things, I'm gonna tell you that one of the hardest things, switching from doing radio for 10 years like I did to doing the podcasting, the hardest thing to do is that when somebody would call up and get, crazy on me, I could just hang up on them.
Right.
But on social media, I get called the clown 30 times a day. It's like, I don't understand. If you don't like my point of view on something, I don't understand why they have to call me a clown. Bro, they're like, bro, you're an idiot. The show is terrible. I mean, can't you just say, hey, I disagree with your point of view? You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. It's always the haters, man. Always the haters.
Listen, I don't need you to like my content. I just don't understand why the aggressiveness, I mean, a lot of hostility.
Very.
Yes. First things first, I want to get to some shout outs in the chat. We got Mondo Ray Moore. What's up, brother? We Three Kings. I believe that's Big Willie Styles. Thank you for showing up. We got our main supporter on 16. Thank you for coming through, man. So we gotta get into it. I ain't even gonna waste no time with it. Sergio, you just kind of touched on it already. Give us a little bit more, if you can, and willing, of your background for those who just may not know who you are.
Yeah, and again, I appreciate you guys having me on. I was at ESPN from 2004, 2005 to about 2014. Did a radio show in Orlando. I used to do the Keon Dooling show when Keon Dooling was still with Orlando. We used to do that show down at the ESPN on the boardwalk in Orlando. Then myself and my co-host, Lake Lewis, we went to DC and we were there. We also were on a station called WMET, and we were there. I loved DC sports, was good too. Now, we were a little bit different because we've always been a national show. I've always done a national show. I've never done a local show. But, the market that you're in, particularly with baseball, you have to cover regional more than national, right? With the NFL and the NBA, it's a different product. With the NFL, you can talk everything. With basketball, you got to talk players. Can't really talk teams because this generation is growing up different than what I grew up, where everyone rooted for their teams, right? Now my younger son, who's a sophomore in high school, I bought more Kyrie Irving jerseys from different teams than you can shake a stick at, but that's the way that they root. They don't root like we root, right? So I did that, and then I got out of the business. You know, I've been a 28-year high school and college softball coach, and my kids started playing sports. I have a son who's going to go play Division I football this year at Wagner in New York. So I just wanted to invest time in my kids. That and the fact that ESPN really didn't pay me enough to really always to leave my main job, which was running the Taxi Federation and Hispanics Across America in New York, where I worked with Alex Rodriquez, worked with us, and during the whole steroid thing, I was actually part of a group that set up the steroid policy back in Latin America in 2003. So I stopped doing radio. I got out of it. It was fun. It was a dream, and I got to live it. But then during COVID, my cousins were always like, yo, Unc, you got to go back into this. And I'm like, man, leave me the hell alone. I got enough shit on my plate. But you know what? We're home. We're bored. And I have all this equipment at home, all this state-of-the-art stuff. My wife was like, you know what? Just build the studio again and do it. And you know what? I did it. And we're getting about 70,000 hits a month. It's better than I thought. And I'll tell you what, the social media with the reels, every reel that I put out, we put out one a day or one every 30 hours. It's been they get between 5,000 and 10,000 hits, especially if you talk Cowboys or Lakers. It goes crazy, right? Of course, I'm a LeBron James hater. So any Laker thing that I put up, I get crazy reply. Like I said, death threats, I don't know what I'm talking about, whatever. I've never seen guys tell me you don't know nothing about basketball. Meanwhile, I was watching basketball when it was on tape delay. That's all you have to know, right? Because people don't know that the NBA finals I used to watch on tape delay. That's how old I was, okay? And but it's been great. It's a different model than that I was used to on the radio. The call-in model, the national show model, but it's a lot more it's easier to do in terms of, hey, I'm going to record something, I get it to my producers, they upload it in 30 seconds. So from that, and I'm home, right? It's easy. No more having to go to Madison Square Garden, none of that stuff, right? So it's been good, and I'm glad that I could jump on here and share some knowledge with you guys, whatever little I have.
Yeah, very, very appreciate that, man. Very appreciate it.
Yes.
I kind of get when you talk about the LeBron's hater. I'm gonna say that,
Well, talk Dante.
Yeah. So I'm not a LeBron hater. I don't like the Lakers just much. I don't like the Cowboys. I can't stand the Cowboys. But we can
touch on both. We can touch on both. Let me explain something about my hatred for LeBron. I put him on my Mount Rushmore. I'm not one of these guys that doesn't respect who he's been. What I don't respect is who he became putting these super teams together. When LeBron first got into the league and he was in Cleveland, that was my guy. Like I'm a big card collector. Yeah, I have, football, basketball, baseball. It off the air, we'll FaceTime. I'll show you what I have. But when he left to Miami, he killed what I thought of him, because I grew up on Jordan. I grew up on Kobe. Who's more? Kobe's, to me, is the guy, the best I've seen. I know I saw Jordan, but to me, Kobe did it in an era where all the best players were at his position. And listen, I know it's sacrilegious to knock Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan did it against 6'1" guards. If you go through the list, even the Dream Team, I tell people all the time, look at the Dream Team. Who are the guards on the Dream Team? John Stockton,
Right.
right? Chris Mullin, great shooter, couldn't guard a lamppost. I mean, even if you look at that generation, the better players were all 6'2", 6'3" guys. Hornacek, Reggie Miller, like John Starks was like the other guard in the stop. Kobe's generation, everybody had a stud wing player. Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. You could go down the list of every team. And so to me, they did the same thing. He just happened to do it better. Now you could say, well, Jordan had to do it against bigs, but I'm talking about from a positional standpoint, he had that advantage. So my thing is, I don't think I'm a LeBron hater where I don't give him credit for his personal body of work. What I don't give him credit for is anything he's won, because it's been fabricated.
Well, and you know what? Just right quick, man. Of course, we hear all this GOAT debate talks with LeBron and Michael Jordan. It really, I don't know how everybody else feel. It really irritates my soul that people just keep, glossing over Kobe. Like Kobe didn't accomplish the things that it's so ridiculous that Kobe's getting looked over. Oh, Kobe.
Hey,
Kobe
Dominique Wilkins. I watched an interview the other day where Dominique Wilkins was doing the show with Darius Miles and Knuckleheads, with D. Miles and Quentin Richardson, and he said the same thing you just said. He doesn't understand why they gloss over. He says the best I've seen other than Jordan is Kobe.
Yeah.
So I don't. He said, listen. I played against them, so I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody says. He said the same thing. He says he doesn't understand why it's like he's not even an option, Yeah,
it's like what Kobe put numbers that many players had put up in history in basketball. I mean, the man, scored 81 points in the game. The man scored 62 points in 3 quarters. The man, I can't remember what year it was. He averaged 40 points a game in the whole entire month of February. I can't remember what year it was. Kobe.
What's funny about that? He once said that he could have scored 40. He could have kept that streak going, but he stopped it for Shaq.
Yep.
Yeah,
because Shaq was out hurt, if you remember, during that streak. And when Shaq came back, Phil Jackson told him that Shaq was getting that they needed to get him the ball and stuff like that. And that's why he said the streak stopped. He said he would have gone for 40 for about another month.
Yeah. And everybody's saying, oh, Kobe was the clone of MJ. But it was a lot of people that wanted to be MJ. Just Kobe has perfected it, and Kobe took it to another level. And I think with Kobe, people first thing they say, Kobe, oh, he got 3 rings because of Shaq. Okay, Shaq got 3 rings because of Kobe. Shaq needed Kobe, you know what I'm saying, to get those rings. And then
think about this. LeBron, Jordan, all those guys, all of them won championships with other top 50 all-time players. Kobe won without a top 50 player. He won on a team where the next best player was Paul Gasol. That's why I always give Wade a lot of credit, even though he did have Shaq, but Shaq was towards the end. It wasn't like he was an elite level. But Dirk Nowitzki, Giannis, those guys figured out a way to do it without putting super teams together.
Yeah.
And they stayed on the same team.
Yeah.
Not too many players that could stay on the same team for X amount of years. Yeah, and that's why I give so much respect for people like Kobe and Dirk Nowitzki and people like that.
Tim Duncan.
Greatest power forward ever.
It's funny you bring up Tim Duncan because I get criticized a lot on social media because I think the most overrated player in the NBA the last 20 years has been Chris Paul. In a league where guards, one player's 20% of the floor, He's played with Anthony Davis, didn't win anything. Then went and played with in the Clippers when he had a top 3 player in the league at that time there. What's his name? Having a
Blake
break.
Griffin.
Blake Griffin was a top at that time was a top 3 worst top 5 player in the league. Everywhere then he goes to play with Harden, who's a scoring champ. Everywhere he's been, his teams either he gets hurt so he doesn't play, or he doesn't get it done. Meanwhile, Tony Parker gets criticized because he played. They say, well, he played with Duncan, but they don't realize he was the MVP of a playoffs of the finals, averaging 28 a game. Yeah. And he led the Spurs in scoring during the regular season plenty of times. It wasn't like he was along. They make it seem like he was along for the ride. But, he wasn't, he's not American. I think that's a bias. Chris Paul gets a lot of shine because he's the president of the Players Union. But to me, that guy's been highly overrated. Highly overrated.
One player they put Chris Paul over, I don't like it a lot of times, is Isaiah Thomas. I hate that.
Oh, please. Isaiah is I can't. Chris Paul. Isaiah Thomas beat Jordan, Bird, and Magic. Enough said. Enough said.
Hey, please say that again for the people, for the haters.
One more time, Sergio.
Isaiah is the best point guard I have ever seen, and you can throw Magic in there.
Yes.
Oh, another question.
Isaiah's the next guy after Kobe and Jordan. To me, Isaiah's the next guy who would die on the floor before losing a game.
Amen.
Really?
Enough said.
So that means you killing the Steph Curry is better than Isaiah Thomas crap too, right?
Yeah, come on, stop. Listen, I like Steph. Man. I root for Steph and all that. A little bit of a one-trick pony, but I like Steph. I'm not gonna knock him, but Isaiah Thomas. If you didn't watch Isaiah Thomas play, just take a seat on this one. Just take a seat on this one.
Mm-hmm. And you got the nerve. You get some people say John Stockton was better.
Oh man.
You got people say John Stockton.
He was good, but again,
he was good.
He was good.
Yeah, he was very good, but he went Isaiah. No, sorry.
No.
Yeah. Isaiah gets a lot more praise than he should. Absolutely. Most definitely he should. And he's always left down on that list of best players, and that's what gets me too. I never understand that at all.
I don't get that. I don't get that either. And listen, I guess I'm gonna be a little. People tell me I'm a little biased because he's a point guard from my generation, but I got away from that. I'm not really. Listen, I'm a Knicks fan, so I got nothing invested in Isaiah Thomas. It's just what my eyes told me growing up. And what the hell? I mean, shit, I could have been the best. Outside of Clyde Frazier, I could have been the next best point guard in the history of the Knicks.
Hey.
Don't tell Derek Harper that. Don't tell Mark Jackson that.
Greg Anthony. Let me tell you, if Pat Riley would have played Greg Anthony a little bit more in '94, we might have won. Only time I question Pat.
So you're a New York Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I know they had a tough loss. The series against the Miami Heat. Do you think it's time for Julius Randle to be gone?
The Knicks have built their team backwards. I've been saying this for about 25, 30 years. Now keep up with my logic here. NBA GMs are crazy when they build teams and they go get Robin before you get Batman. And let me explain to you what happens. The NBA is the kind of league where we understand you need the superstar, right? We get that. You don't need to be a Rhodes Scholar to know that. But when you go get a Robin, i.e. a Randall, i.e. the guard that we have now, the point guard, right? Brunson.
Yep.
They make you good enough to be a 4, 5, 6 seed. So you're not going to win the championship, and now you put yourself out of the lottery. When you're building a team in the NBA, you either want to be a top 5 team or you want to be a bottom 5 team. Anything in the middle, you're going to be spinning your wheels. Yeah. And so that's why having a guy like Julius Randle, to answer your question there, is crazy, because he's making you good enough in the regular season. Because don't get it twisted. In the regular season, he balls out.
Yeah.
He's a walking 20 points a game, and more importantly, in this era that we're living, he plays every game, which is why the Knicks are going to win a lot of games. Thibodeau coaches defense. The Knicks have nobody that load manages, so every night they put their best foot forward. But you're a 4, 5, 6 seed. You're not going to win a championship because you're not that good. So now you got to either run it back with that team or remain a 4, 5, 6 seed, because there's nothing else you can do. How else do you get better? If you get rid of at least take the revenue money from the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
See, I got a question behind that.
Okay.
Do you feel that, because I get asked this question a lot, and actually one of my close friends is a Knicks fan, and he actually stays in New York, and we always talk about the Donovan Mitchell. If Donovan Mitchell would have been on the Knicks, would things be different? Now, do you think it was a good thing that they passed up on Mitchell?
No.
Or is the team good the way it's constructed? Or what do you think about that?
No, I think Donovan Mitchell would have made them considerably better, especially the way everything broke, right? You had the Heat. You had home court. I mean, listen, I don't want to hear nothing about Jimmy Butler is a phenomenal player and he's playing great. But when the number 1 seed gets knocked out and you're the Knicks and you have home court advantage and you have as much talent or more as the other team, you got to win that series. Now, look, the Quickly injury hurt, but they don't have Oladipo.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, I mean, you got to figure out a way to win that. I do believe I would have traded JR. I would have traded my God, what's his name? Man, I'm getting old here.
No.
Take your time, man.
Hey, take your time.
I would have traded any draft pick, and I would have traded the kid from Duke. What's his name?
RJ Barrett.
Oh, RJ Barrett.
I would have driven RJ Barrett to Utah because RJ Barrett is the only lefty who has no left hand. I mean, he's the only lefty who can't finish with the left. Look, you drafted a guy 3rd, and midway through his 2nd or 3rd year, you're posting defensive stats and metrics. No. If I draft you 3rd, brother, you better be a walking bucket. So, yeah, I think it would have been different the way it worked out. I think Mitchell would have gotten him over the hump, probably to giving them a better chance. I mean, think about it. I don't know if they were going to beat Boston anyway, but, I mean, they could have beaten Miami with Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Not winning a championship, but at least Donovan Mitchell gets you to that 2-3 seed.
Yeah.
Now you're a contender. Now something goes right. But that 4, 5, 6 seed that they're stuck in now, forget about it.
Yeah. Now, see, I thought with the Cavs too, I thought when they lost to y'all, because too they didn't have, like you said, Love wasn't there no more, and obviously Love left for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And then he went right to Miami. Because I think what it is with them, it's a maturity thing with him. It's always been that kind of issue where, you've seen him in the past where he lashes out at some of the young guys, especially when Sexton was still there. So I think with him, he felt like maybe he had a better chance and left with Miami because he probably saw the writing on the wall with Cleveland, like they just weren't ready.
Miami has a phenomenal culture.
Yeah.
Pat Riley's very specific about who he brings into the team. I mean, damn, they have a guy on the bench that hasn't played a minute in 4 years, basically, just because of the tone that is set And Spoelstra can coach his ass off.
Yeah.
And you saw it. And you saw it last night with the second half adjustments. And he doesn't have Tyler Hero now. He is a phenomenal basketball coach. Phenomenal basketball coach. And so they're winning on culture. They're winning on players who fit their specific role, and there's no ego there. There's no ego there. That's why they're able to do this every year. They're not going to win the championship. I don't believe they're going to win it, but they put themselves in a position because they have a blueprint and they don't skew from it. Almost like the Steelers in football. Every year you can count on that team to be, on a bad year, 8-8, 9-7. They have a blueprint that they follow. They don't fire their coach every 2 years. And because they do that, everyone conforms to what needs to happen.
And I'll just say this right quick.
It's
your show. You can take whatever time you want.
You're our guest, man. We go to you.
Yeah. But I'll say this right quick. And like I said, I've been a big fan of Eric Spoelstra coaching, man. He's been he's top 15 coaches of all time, period. That's all said and done. It's
definitely in game. I don't care about resume. I'm talking about what I'm watching during the game, the moves, the matchups, setting up. You're watching in game. I'm watching that Knicks series, and he's setting up ball screens to create matchups. A lot of teams, I'm sure everybody knows it, but how do you get your players to implement it?
Yeah, and that's what the part with Spoelstra, he gets them players to buy into it. That culture, they buys into it. Look, that team got 6-7 undrafted players on that team. Wow. Undrafted play, yes.
But what do you think? You don't think Pat Riley, the Pat Riley effect, he'll get rid of you? He doesn't care. You're being brought in, and he'll tell you you're coming in to play 6 minutes, and in those 6 minutes, I need 5 rebounds. You either buy in, or we'll find the next guy to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of teams coaches don't do that in today's NBA.
They don't.
They let the player dictate too much. So this is what we said on our last episode. I said it seems like they took today's basketball doesn't value the role players properly like they should. That's why I used to have so much fun watching games as a team back when you were on. No, not even a team. I was like 10 years old back when you were on ESPN. So that just show my age. But this is why I used to have so much fun, because it's like the role players, you didn't have to dribble, have finesse and passing, and so you could be an all defensive guy out there. And if that was your role, that was your role. If you were good for rebounding and passing back out, and inbounding and everything else, that was your role. It wasn't, you might have a star player or two that could give you a little bit of everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you think about Allen Iverson, people know they drag him like, oh, well, he didn't work hard enough like Kobe, and that's why he didn't get a championship. But it's like, no, he had some guys on there that wasn't always that great, but they had role players, but he did need another star player. And I feel like the Sixers never had provided him with that in the past. So it's like, but that's why I used to enjoy basketball. People know now you got social media. It makes players seem like they're better than they are, and they're not. You hear about them all the time. Back in the day, if you had a shooter, his role was to come out there and shoot for 5-10 minutes. And that's what you needed him for. And I wish basketball would kind of go back to that element, because I feel like the games are more physical, and it allowed the players to be who they were. They didn't have to feel like they were S out because they didn't offer this or that and third. Sometimes you got to remember in life, too, man, less is more. Sometimes that just is. You can get a player that can give you all. Go ahead.
No, let me add something that happened also before that doesn't happen anymore. There's a lot of player turnover now.
Yeah.
So guys that were superstars, guys like Larry Johnson, Xavier McDaniel, they would go through their superstar phase, and then they were the role players.
Right.
But those guys those role players could get you 20 on any given night. The difference was they weren't playing the same kind of minutes anymore.
Yep.
Now, half the NBA is gone after 2 years. Like you look around, I don't even know half these guys. I'm like, who? You know, like it's like you see these guys, and so the average age in the league is like, you know, I was listening to Vince Carter talk about that when he came into the league. He was playing with guys like Charles Oakley and these guys. He was like, and Tracy McGrady and him were like, they couldn't even go out with anybody. Now you have like 7 or 8 guys under 21 on the team. So those guys aren't coming in to be role players. They want to get paid. They want that bag.
Pistons. 7, 8 guys under 20. Oh man. Hit the nail on that one.
Yeah. And to add to that too, with veterans, just like with Miami, because they have veterans as like Lowry and Oladipo, which were superstars on their team, and now they're playing role players with Miami. And they, like you said, it's that culture.
Yep. Same with Kevin Love.
Love too. I mean, Love only played about 15, 16 minutes yesterday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a leader,
they're taking a lot of the defense away too. You can't play defense like you did back then, because that the hand
sports,
and everything. They took all that away.
Yep.
But even a guy like the kid Robinson, right? Duncan Robinson.
Yes, sir.
Another guy, role player. He's close. He's got to be close to 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Remember,
go ahead, bro.
No, remember with Duncan Robinson. Remember, he was a starter at one point in the bubble.
Yeah.
And then he fell out the rotation, but he never complained. He stayed with the course with the Heat culture. When Tyler Hero went down with the injury, he came off the bench and started getting a little more get some playing time. Rather, if he playing 10 minutes,
and if the shots are falling, he plays more. If they're not, like yesterday, they didn't fall. He didn't play much, maybe even played 10 minutes. But when they fall, he'll run out 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, he was going through what shooters go through a lot of times, where they get in that stretch where they miss a lot of shots, and he just having it through. Yeah. But you know, and the thing is though,
every other shooter but Steph.
Yeah, that's right. Because man, I watched that game 7 of the Kings. Oh my god! But yeah, man, Duncan Robinson, like again, a couple years ago, you know, he was looking like the talk of the town. And this year, this happens. He could be Fitz next year. And the thing is, that's just what it is. You know, you guys to play a developer. If he was here in Detroit playing like that, we've been having fan base ready to ship him up out of here just because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's because unfortunately that's what we do here. But it's like that culture. I said the other day that Miami is like they're the standard of what you should do as a team. Because partially what they do as a front office and part of what you do as a coach as well. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about the players. It's about getting the players to buy in.
But you know what the issue is? The issue becomes that it starts at the top with Riley, because Pat Riley empowers the coach. In every other situation, the players are empowered over the coach. Right. So you're not going to go in there and bullshit Spoelstra. You'll be gone the next day. There is no I'm bigger than the coach. No, that doesn't exist. I mean, look at Milwaukee. 2 years ago, they win it all. This year, listen, they slipped up. It happens. They shouldn't have, but it happens. They fired Budenholzer. How does that make any sense? 2 years ago, he's like, so that's the problem. If that happens in Miami, he's not getting fired.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And the question, I'm glad you brought it. Sorry, dear. I just wanted to ask him this. The question I wanted to ask you, since you just brought Budenholzer, what was your opinion about the situation in Phoenix with them firing Monty Williams?
Scapegoat.
So you feel the same way?
The problem's the point guard. We're gonna go back to listen. Think about this. They won 2 games without the guard after he got hurt. So who's the problem?
True. Yeah. That's true.
I tried to tell them that.
But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, Serge. I'm gonna say this. The thing is, what I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like it, but you got to think too. When you lose both back-to-back years, both elimination games at home by 30 points, that's hard to overcome. I get Chris Paul. He was hurt. He didn't play. It is what it is. We know Chris Paul injury history in the playoffs. We know that. But when you cannot sit up here and at home, remember you lost to Dallas by 30, and you was down by 30 at halftime. You had the game 7 at home to go on to the Western Conference. Now, this year, you're down 3-2. Granted, Denver's the number 1 seed for a reason. But you cannot lose by 30.
Fired the guy after 19 games with Kevin Durant. You didn't even let him run that. Mm-hmm. But look, again, I'm not telling you that he's the answer to that. I'm just saying I can't believe. And again, we don't know what the dynamics of the inner circle is, right? Like we don't know if there's players saying, or he's guys don't respect him. We don't know that stuff. We know he's a great guy from what but listen, the NBA, if you have players like Durant and Booker and what the point guard is supposed to be, then it should be about the Jimmies and Joes, not about the X's and O's. You know where it's about the X's and O's? In Miami. Football. Because they don't have Jimmy Butler's nice, but nobody would tell you Jimmy Butler's a top 10 player in the NBA. Not during the regular season. Playoff Jimmy Butler's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But if you're a team that has 2 top 10 players in the league, the coach shouldn't matter that much. It's just my opinion. Because that's 40% of the lineup.
Right.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Jerry.
I would agree with you. You have a point. Now, but I would say this. Monty Williams, you go back, we look about what happened when they played the Bucks in the finals. You up 2-0 in that series. And with everybody saying this, you have to build. I mean, look what Miami. You have to build a wall to stop Giannis. Monty Williams did not make the adjustments that he kept putting Ayton out there on the island instead of, hey, we're gonna double team Giannis, triple team or whatever, and make Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday and the other guys beat us. Make them beat us. And I think some of the things that Monty Williams, he didn't make the adjustments that could have helped them win games.
And you're right. But that was 2 years ago, wasn't that? You're right. He needed more X's and O's there. Yeah. But he also had the point guard there. Didn't do nothing. Lost 4 straight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep on beating Chris Paul down because I'm telling you. I mean, you were gifted that championship, and he still couldn't win that one. Tony Parker ain't losing that one.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Damn, we got a point about that one though.
Isaiah Thomas ain't losing that one. No. I'm just saying. I don't care if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is on the other side. If you're up 2-0 and that's the only thing we got to worry about, stop.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah. You're right. There were no adjustments made there.
Yeah, he too busy making State Farm commercials instead of playing.
Right.
Man, and you know what? And the thing about it too is that with CP3, man, it's like I was rooting for him so hard. Like, come on, man, you right there. And it's just like he couldn't do it. And it seemed like this is the time where you're supposed to just be the selfish guy. You in your late ends, you're trying to plan for your retirement. This is your chance to get a ring. Like Derrick Rose will kill to been in that position.
Oh my God.
That's somebody that we wish could have won one. Because if anybody in this league deserved to win a ring, to me it was Derrick Rose. And I felt like he would have killed to be in that position that Chris Paul was in. Derrick Rose would have made every shot.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you another person to me. I say that deserves a ring. He may and may not get it in his career. Russell Westbrook.
No, the string is over. Goodbye.
No, you mean Russell Westbrook.
No, Westbrook.
Listen, let me tell you something about Russell Westbrook. In a league where in the last 10 years, I feel like players have stolen the fans' money. Russell Westbrook brings it every single night. Now listen, you could tell me he can't shoot, he can't do this. I'm not going to debate basketball. What I'm going to debate is the man's integrity to show up and play every single day. He buys into what he's doing.
He never teach you out of the game.
I respect that. He earns my respect because I know if his team's coming to town, I can buy tickets to take my kid and he's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
In a league where all the other superstars steal the fans' money.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Westbrook never cheat you out of the game. He, like you said, he's going to play hard. He's good. If he goes 1 for 19, guess what?
He's shooting up ball number 20 and he's diving for the rebound.
Yep.
That's why I respect guys like him. And another guy I respect too, and not a lot of people talk about, is Mikal Bridges.
Absolutely.
Mikal Bridges plays every single game.
Yep.
All 82 games.
Yep.
I gotta respect that. I have to respect that. So,
especially now, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I got a question for everybody. Okay. What is your take on load management?
Okay.
I go to work.
Sergio,
I think I started something.
I think it's comical. Because see, my thing is this, and I'm going to answer this as a coach, right? As a 28-year coach. I said something the other day that made somebody laugh. I said that I put more kids in college to play softball than the United Negro Fund put in college.
Man.
So I know where I'm coming from when I answer this. I get it. I understand keeping people healthy. I'm never going to run out a kid out there who cannot compete physically.
Yeah.
But it's gone from one extreme to the other now. It's not even about staying healthy because your ankle's bothering you or whatever. No, it's about just staying healthy because we don't want to put more miles on the tread. It's almost like you're treating these players like a leased car.
Yep.
The car runs perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. But maybe we take my wife's car so that I don't put the miles in this one. That's what they've become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think load management, and it may suck because it hurts really to me when it's on the road. When you're a big time player, let's say you're LeBron, let's say you're Kobe, and you go on the road to, especially to a team you don't play that often. You want to play, even if that team is a losing bad, because you got fans in that area that probably want to see you. So I understand why some players, especially if they're doing like 3-4 back-to-backs down there, like 3 straight games or something like that, they all on the road in different areas. I could understand taking one of those games off. But to me, if you're going to take load management off, it should be late, near playoff time, and it should be, to me, when you're at home.
Yeah.
When you're at home.
You know, the Spurs, it was Popovich that started that garbage.
Yeah, and Kawhi Leonard is supposed to be boy for it.
Kawhi Leonard's still in the league?
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard's still in the league?
Hey,
he should stay his ass in Toronto. Hey,
Serge. I'm just gonna let you know. I mean, these two guys will attest to it. I am a big Kawhi fan.
I like Kawhi too, about 20 times a year when he plays.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts. It hurts me, you know, when he's not playing. You know, I love the Clippers. Clippers, my team as well.
Okay,
it
know
hurts
as much pain as I do as a Knicks.
Yeah, yeah.
Kawhi Leonard's like a booty call. About 20 times a year.
Oh my!
Man. But listen, it's phenomenal for those 20 days.
And that was brought to you by StreamYard.
Oh my God! You know who else is
And
another 20
OnlyFans
game?
is coming soon.
Yes. And the thing about the load management scenario, man, it's like it should be late near playoff time. If you're a player that's got your seed already tied up, or you in the top 3 or something, okay, cool. But if you unfortunately on the bottom end or middle pack, you still got to fight to the end. I mean, a game that don't matter here and there, okay, cool. Like a game you don't really need to win, or it's like your bench can help win that one for you. Okay, cool, but you might want to go and play. I think I respect Damian Lillard because my first game was because of DC1 here in Darrell, and it was here at LCA. It was the Blazers in the house, and Damian Lillard, we thought he wasn't going to play. He played most of the first half, and he did like a whole game stat line in like the first 2 quarters, and that was like a 30-point triple-double. So he killed us, and then he set out the rest. I like the way he did that because he actually took some damage in that game, getting the rim, he played hard for that time being, and then he was barely out there that much in the second half, but Jeremy Grant and the rest of the boys that close out the game. That I can respect because you know what? Even though the Pistons had absolutely nobody available to play, like that night we discovered Eugene Omoruyi, for God's sakes, and he still chose to play. He didn't have to. They could have won without him, but he still chose to play that game, at least half of it, and then a little bit of it in the second half, and that was it. And he was just fine for the rest of the season. So that is the way I think you should do it. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you can play, but just, you don't have to play the whole game. Just give the fans something. Because, he was down there. He's a good Dame fan and stuff. I'm a fan of Dame too myself. So, it was good to see that he played on my first game ever as a Piston fan, you know what I'm saying? So I got to see that. And that did wonders for me. So I got a lot of respect for him for that because he played that game. Like, he don't even know it himself.
and remember, too, when he played, they played the previous night against Orlando.
Yeah, they was on a back-to-back, I think, wasn't they?
They was on a back-to-back. They beat Orlando, and then he came here and beat the Pistons.
And then they had another game after that.
Yeah, but that was like the day after. But they was on the East Coast road trip. So
right.
But you're absolutely right. He played majority of the first half, and he, hey, I did my part out there in Orlando. I came out here in the first half. I played a little in the second half, and we still won the game.
And then stole our draft spot.
So I want to go back to right quick. I want to ask you, Sergio, about what's been going on with the head coaches situations being fired. Doc Rivers and Monty and Budenholzer and Nick Nurse. What is your take about these coaches being fired?
Look, I believe that a lot of these guys just make moves to make moves. I don't think that there's necessarily a move that has to be made every time a team loses. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap and say, hey, we did everything we could. So I got to give you a perfect example. Are the Knicks ever going to win a championship? If I said to you, will the Knicks win a championship in the next 3 years? Your answer will be?
No.
Okay.
No.
So does it really matter whether it's Tom Thibodeau or Monty Williams now next year?
No, don't.
No.
So keep the stability. Keep the stability. Maybe through the stability, you develop the continuity that you have in a place like Miami.
Yeah.
And then you get fortunate and you hit on a draft pick or something. But these guys just change coaches just to blame it on. To me, it's like blaming it on somebody. Oh, we're not winning. Let's show the fans we're trying to do something. To me, that's just it's useless. All that coach movement. To me, again, listen. People, you ask any fan base, they'll tell you their coach is garbage and he should be gone. But then next year they're garbage again, and the coach should be gone also.
That's true. Now, how do you feel about the Doc Rivers though?
Look, Doc Rivers, great coaching career, but he's left a lot of meat on the bone too. He's got a little boy's ball in him too.
Oh my God! I think me and Sergio are best friends because I was just thinking about interrupting. Saying now, Doc Rivers kind of acting like a baseball right now.
But my point, see, that's different because there's a situation where that team should have had a championship or at least been in the finals. I mean, you were up 3-2, and you have the guy that everyone tells me is the MVP. I mean, I think the guy in Denver should have won the third one, but
absolutely,
we can't vote for him because he's white and European. Like, who the fuck cares?
Right.
Like that, we almost treat these white players with the same reverse racism that we always complain about, particularly in baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
no question.
You know what I'm saying? So now I heard a lot of guys say, oh, we can't vote for him because then we have to consider him a GOAT because he won 3 in a row. How does that factor into that?
Right.
If the guy deserves it, give it to him. And let me tell you something. He's proven he's 30 times better than Embiid. And all you got to do is watch the games. Watch them. Because if Joker's up 3-2, he ain't blowing no series.
No.
Oh. And he has his team more involved too.
Yeah.
Instead of Embiid. Because Embiid want to blame everybody else.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
And you know, we all know James Harden is a no-show when it comes to playoffs. We all know. It's not a surprise that he didn't show up, especially Game 7.
You mean James Hardhead?
Yeah, James Hardhead.
He's on a milk cart.
I call him James Harley.
Yeah.
How old are you guys, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 34.
I'm 40. I'm 41.
I'm 30. I'll be 31
so
this month.
I'm 48, so I'm older than you guys. But I don't know. Maybe us can remember. Well, we can remember the milk cart. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Were you guys young enough to remember? You guys had plastic containers.
I remember. and it's funny you mentioned that because I was saying the same thing about Anthony Edwards in the playoffs. I even said on the videos, I said, man, he need a milk carton because we ain't seen him or his game.
But see,
and only about 30% of us understood that.
Yeah. But see, at least with Anthony Edwards, he's still young, so he got a lot of time to grow, and so at least with Anthony Edwards. But James Harden, come on, man, you've been in the league too long, man. He had these epic failures in the playoffs, not showing up, scoring 9 points, 10 points, whatever. Turn the ball. The one game he was so bad, and I don't know y'all remember this when the Houston Rockets played the Golden State Warriors in 2015. Western Conference Finals when he had what double-digit turnovers, set the record for the most turnovers of one player in NBA history. Come on, man.
Yeah. Now I wanted to say one thing though. I did.
Topics on you for a second. I have a question for you.
Oh, sure.
Yes, sir.
And you guys are the perfect people to ask because you guys are black sports fans.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sure you guys like your baseball, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, you're a Detroit fan. I don't know who you guys like. Who do you guys like in baseball?
Oh, Tigers.
Yeah, we all Tigers.
All Tigers. Okay, perfect. How do you look at baseball today? And are you guys believers that baseball needs the black player, or are you guys, when you guys watch the game, do you guys just say, well, I don't sit here and say the NBA needs white players, or hockey, that, why do you think that Major League Baseball is pushing the narrative so much for the black player to re-emerge in baseball, number one? And number two, do you guys think it's important? I'll make you think, huh?
That's a good question.
That is. I don't know who's gonna go first.
You go first.
I'll go first. I don't think I think one thing is you don't see enough blacks playing baseball anymore.
Why
so they want to bring it back. Because I think because to me, I think they might be more interested in football and basketball more than baseball. Unless
But why? Because when we were growing up, it wasn't.
And we don't get taught baseball too.
See,
so
that's
another
point.
thing.
See, that's
we don't get taught baseball.
That's the point that I try to make a lot. Baseball tends to be a father-son thing, an uncle-son thing, right? An uncle-nephew thing. And baseball is such a boring sport that you have to be stimulated mentally to actually appreciate the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, so that's a factor. I think the other factor is monetary. The travel teams and stuff in baseball have to be self-maintained. It's not like basketball where you get sponsors. So a poor kid from the inner city, even my son played on one of the top AAU programs in the country, the Roadrunners. Well, Kyrie Irving, Bobby Hurley, all those guys came out of there, right?
Yeah.
He's living in the suburbs. Half his teammates don't even know where their next meal's coming from. But they're still playing together because they're an Adidas-sponsored team. Right?
Yeah.
In baseball, that's not happening. In baseball, if you don't have the $3,000 a summer to pay and the lessons and all that stuff. So I think a lot of that has retarded the growth of the minority player, because you can add the Hispanic player to that in the country. Don't be fooled by it. Just because you see teams full of Rodriquez, Alvarez's, and Gonzalez's, all those guys are coming from Dominican Republic and Venezuela. They ain't coming from, Florida. They're not coming from Arizona. Mm-hmm. Most of the Spanish players are still coming from other countries.
Right.
The minority player in this country struggles in baseball because, to me, it's financial is the number one reason. But I guess my question is, do you guys, when you watch the game, do you say, damn, how come there's no black outfielder or something? Or do you guys not even pay attention to that?
I'd say with me, part of it is not paying attention to that because I'm more focused on the game.
Yeah. Exactly. See, I get that. I just hate the narrative that baseball tries to push this reviving baseball in the inner city, blah, 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 blah. Like, and so I always ask my black friends, when we're watching the game, do you notice there's no black people on the field? And he's like, no. I'll be like, of course, because nobody freaking cares. I never once said, wow, man, how come there's no Dominicans playing, in the NBA? Well, we have like 6 or 7, but, Karl Anthony Towns. But my point is, I never think about that stuff. Only non-fans, only people trying to create a racial narrative think about that stuff because I don't think about that shit.
I don't think about it either.
And then you got some black players in baseball like Tim Anderson and Andrew McCutcheon,
Ryan Hayes.
You got Jazz Chisholm. For the Miami.
My kids love Jazz. My son loves Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah, Jazz Chisholm Jr. one of the best hitters and the best players in the game. A lot of people don't talk about those guys. They go out there, they play hard. You know what I'm saying? They're good players. They're good players for a reason. They in the major leagues for a reason.
And it's funny because I was talking to Harold Reynolds. So Harold Reynolds works out with his daughter at my facility, and we were at ESPN together. But I own an indoor training facility. And so I was telling him that I want to run a camp in the summer to bring some kids from Newark, from the inner city, to get the kind of coaching that we give our kids in the suburbs, right? And so we were talking about that, and he was making the same point that you guys made, that even as a black player who played in the 80s and 90s, he don't think about that shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's true.
So is your take for that the same when it comes to hockey?
Yeah, I don't even think about that. I'm an Edmonton Oilers fan, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in the era with Gretzky and Messier. My brother was an Islanders fan, so I wanted to root against him. Right? I wasn't going to root with him, right? So I became an Oilers fan. But after 92, man, it was till 2006. It was rough. It's still been rough, but I guess we got Connor McDavid and Draisaitl now, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yeah, when I was a hockey fan, Steve Yzerman was good. How's that?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You mean our very
you guys
intelligent
got
GM?
Iserman late though, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you guys
Yes,
caught
sir.
Iserman late. Yeah.
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 I
yeah.
caught him when he was at the top of his game.
Oh yeah, Iserman. Yes.
Yeah.
Chairman,
I had a chance to actually meet him a couple years ago. He's a real good guy. Real good guy.
Nice.
Real cool.
Hey, what's
But,
the talk in Detroit about my guy Spencer Torkelson?
Oh.
So it's been, still our local Detroit sports radio, some of our local media are still, some of them like not too sold on Spencer Torkelson yet. They trying to give up on him already. Spencer Torkelson has been playing better. He's like I said, last season he was hurt. So he has been playing better, and it's been a lot of big difference when we have a new hitting coach.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we have a good manager, AJ Hinch. AJ Hinch is a good manager.
Good friends with my guy A-Rod. Good friends.
Yeah. And you'll see the growth of Torkelson. He's going to just continue to get better as long as he stay healthy. It kind of reminds me of the guy who used to play for the Kansas City Royals. I think it was Alex Gordon.
Gordon, yeah.
Remember, Alex Gordon went through the same situation.
He actually became a better, more consistent hitter when they moved him to left field. Remember, he came up as a third baseman.
Yes, he did. And he came in, people giving up him, or he wasn't hitting, he wasn't this, he wasn't that. And then they stayed with the course with him. He worked on his craft of this game, and he got better. And that's the same thing I'm looking at Spencer Torkelson. He's going to continue to get better. He's going to continue to work on his craft. AJ Hinch believing in him. Scott Harris, our new GM, believes in him. And that's why this Detroit Tigers team is going to be better.
Listen, you got to understand something if you're a Tigers fan right now. Casey Mize is a stud. Hurt. Yeah. Schoolboy is another guy that can that's going to be, but he's hurt too. And Riley Green, who they've been touting, is playing really well right now.
Yeah.
I mean, so you just gotta be patient with these guys. Look at Baltimore. Baltimore waited their time, and now they've hit on all these guys: Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, Mountcastle. I mean, Grayson Rodriguez. They're hitting.
Cedric Mullins.
Cedric Mullins,
Cedric Mullins. All these guys. Yep.
And the thing is about us here in Detroit, we don't have patience. Well, we do over here, but a lot of people don't. And they want to rush guys out here in all our sports teams. They want to rush every player. It may start out good and falls all day. We want to rush him up out of here. And with Torque, I think the issue with him is that he had a lot put on him way too early, way too soon. And I'm glad that they rebounded with him and let him get to the very thin basics of it, because that's what's going to help. Because once he gets hot, he's going to stay that way. Like, he's already getting himself back into groove where he's hitting the ball again. Once he start really getting to where he can start knocking them out the park, you go start looking at him like he's JD Martinez a little bit. Like, that's how he's going to come off to you, because you saw the talent even in year one when he was struggling. You see it obviously now. The guy's going to get better. And I think that we just have to be a little bit patient. The Tigers not ready to win it all right now anyway. I say give him at least 2 more seasons, and you'll be down there looking at a whole different player compared to his, last year and what's on.
Absolutely.
And also remember, Detroit's been albatrossed by that Cabrera contract.
Oh, yes.
I mean, how much can you really do,
Yeah.
And I would say too, they put more pressure on Javi Baez more than Torkelson.
Man, Javi Baez. But you know what? I thought Javi Baez was a highly, highly overrated free agent, and I felt like Detroit needed to make a move, and he was the only guy that they could get with money that wasn't. And man, I mean,
And the crazy with Javi Baez in this season, he started off, terrible, and then he got benched, He got benched.
then,
What happened with that? He didn't run out a ball. He made a base running mistake or something like that.
Oh,
He's I can't remember what was that particular one.
I think he got doubled up on a line drive, right? He didn't know how many outs there were, or something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, that was like that. And two, he wasn't consistently, he was getting more strikeouts. And I think too,
but he was a strikeout machine in Chicago.
Yeah. I think when AJ Hinch put him in, benched him for some games, and then once he came back, he flew off the charts.
Yeah,
I think he AJ Hinch. That's what I say. AJ Hinch, did the smart thing. So hey, sometimes you got to put one of your best players on the bench for a minute, because sometimes it help your best players when they come off, so they can learn from their mistakes and they can be better. And that's an example what Javi Baez is doing. He is hitting the ball. He is making good decisions in shortstop. He's not making ball hand plays anymore. So,
and I think it puts everybody on notice too. Hey man, if he's gonna bench the guy that's the highest paid guy on the team, I'm next.
Yeah. And then he comes back in, he's playing good. Like that. I'm not used to seeing that consistently, where we can bench a veteran player that some would say was overhyped or overpaid, and then now he's living up to the contract after all the struggles. We're not used to that over here. So I'm excited, and I know these guys are too.
And you get guys that's hitting, Jake Rogers and Mbaez. He just came up from, I believe, AAA. He's coming in. His first hit was a home run a couple of games ago.
How's the Kilbadu playing?
He just had a decent game the other day.
Yeah. He's getting better. He's getting better.
Yeah. He kind of went through the Duncan Robinson to me, because he was hot like a couple years ago, and then like last year he just was a complete non-factor. Now he's starting to get himself.
That too. He went. Remember, they sent them down to AAA.
AAA,
They sent them down. So
he's got to cut out on them strikeouts too. Yeah. So once he do that and just be consistent on the plate and just take a few pitches, he'll be good. Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you somebody else. Eduardo Rodriquez has been playing outstanding.
Yeah,
no relation, by the way.
Right.
Hey, Bree. Yeah, he been playing. I know. Yesterday he got rocked, and it happens. It happened. I mean, they played against a good Pittsburgh Pirates team. I know he got rocked, but overall he has been playing well.
And like I said before, I wish idiots here start talking about trading him for prospects.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
When you listen to the fans, you end up sitting with them as a GM.
You ain't lying. About that.
No,
you ain't lying about that. Now I'm gonna switch it. Now I'm gonna switch it up. Now, since you talked about the Tigers, what do you think about the Yankees and your end?
Oh man,
what's your thoughts about that?
The Yankees are a terribly constructed team. Immensely faulted team. You can't have a team with a $277 million payroll. Whose outfield consists of Aaron Judge and 3 little doors. That's what you're getting. Okay? That's the production you're getting. They've been running out the shortstop Volpe most of the year as the leadoff batter. The guy barely is over 210 in his average. Now, again, the Yankee media, the Yankee propaganda machine is going to push some narrative that he's got 13 stolen bases and he's been playing a good shortstop. But the problem is you can't steal first. So if you're a leadoff batter and you can't get on base, you're useless to me.
Yeah, I agree.
The Yankees don't have a 3-hitter. The Yankees don't have a leadoff batter. The Yankees don't have a consistent number 2 pitcher that you can count on. Now, again, people are going to say Cortez. That guy is a number 3. As a 3, you're in business. As a 2, he's not the guy. The Yankees bullpen is terrible. Statistically speaking, their numbers look better, but no one that you can count on to say, hey, we're going to go to this guy and this guy's going to get the 3 outs. So my point is, what have you constructed for $277 million? Issues.
Yep.
Now, over 162 games, they might avoid a lot of downfalls and still make the playoffs because they're so deep in being able to go to the minors and get players. They can make trades, etc., that a lot of other teams can't. But let's be honest, for $277 million,
yeah,
I mean, the catching situation is terrible too. I mean, like, there's so many issues that shouldn't be there for the amount of money that's invested in that payroll. Both New York teams, because the Mets are terrible too.
Oh yeah,
they're another team.
Yeah,
the pitchers are old. Okay, Verlander, when he was in Detroit, you could see the decline coming. Why? Cold weather, over 30. As soon as he went to Houston, he straightened it out. Now back in New York, forget about it. That's not going to happen. Scherzer's getting to the point now where he was a very durable guy. He's not even taking the mound.
Right.
Lindor, another probably the most overrated player in the game. Playing a guy like a superstar that doesn't sell tickets. At least the Yankees have the superstars that'll sell the tickets and Judge. But a lot of these teams pay these guys and they don't even sell tickets for you.
No, they don't. They don't.
And you know, speaking of Yankees, I know this stuff. You know, I'm personally, I can't stand the Yankees. I hate the Yankees.
That's fine. We all make mistakes in life.
I can't stand the Yankees.
But why do you hate the Yankees?
I just never liked the Yankees.
But why? Why?
I think, hey, you know what? I think he hates the Yankees just like y'all hate the Boston Red Sox.
But okay, but at least there's a rivalry. Like he said before, he hates the Cowboys. You're a Detroit Lions fan. Why do you hate the Cowboys?
Well, see,
I don't even think about the Detroit Lions.
Hold on. Here, see, I have another NFL team that's not only just the Lions. Then it's another team.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you have another team?
I have another team.
See, it goes back to that booty call thing. You see what I mean? Man, who's your booty call team?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh my! How do you have 2 teams in the same conference? At least tell me you have a team on the other side.
No, I can't. Nah.
Man, this dude be getting more hyped about the Eagles than he do the Lions. I'm like, bro, you from here? Where you going?
hey,
and the Clippers too.
I've been the Eagles. I've been riding with the Eagles since Donovan McNabb.
Why? Because he was a black quarterback?
No.
Okay.
No, he was just black.
Because I'll be honest, the day there's a Dominican quarterback, shit, we got Tony Romo's half Mexican. I was in.
I can't. I can't stand. The Cowboys. I can't stand the Cowboys because the simple fact the Dallas Cowboys, they all, especially their fan base. The things they always talk about, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Show. Yeah. I'll tell you, the Cowboys ain't winning shit, and I'm a Cowboys.
They ain't never won.
Dak Prescott is the worst kind of quarterback you could have.
Thank you.
Dak Prescott. Listen, I can give you about 5 guys like that, but you can't. Whenever you find yourself paying a quarterback, like you're paying him, and you're paying him like he's Aaron Rodgers, and he's not what I call an eraser. There's about 3 or 4 guys who are erasers, meaning they can erase any problem you have with their play. Mahomes, Rodgers. I'm going to throw Joe Burrow in that mix.
Yes.
We watching him win with no offensive line.
Yep.
I'm going to throw Josh Allen in there for now. But everybody else, you got to pay. Like they're those guys. And then you want to tell me, well, but he don't have no wide receivers. The hell you need a wide receiver for? You're the guy. Make somebody else good.
Yeah. And Rodgers been like that for years.
Yeah.
He has maybe, I know people will say Devontae Adams, but it's been times where he's had other wide receivers step up. The Randall Cobbs, the
Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson.
Think about Brady when he was an elite level quarterback. 1 year with Randy Moss. Other than that, 9 guys that were practice players. You're talking about Julian Edelmans. You're talking about guys that are built like my son at 5'11", 180 pounds.
Danny
Rodgers did have Donald Driver and what's his name?
Come on, those guys.
I forget my guy's name.
Greg
y'all know him. Yeah, Greg Jennings. He did have those guys too.
But don't act like he had Sterling Sharp either. You know what I mean? But do I have to tell you who Sterling Sharp is? You're not old enough to remember.
I'm aware. I'm aware. But
some people just know him as Shannon's brother.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
I don't realize Sterling Sharp was better than Shannon.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was. Yeah. He was. He definitely was for sure. So it's.
So let me ask your son, Serge. You basically saying Dak ain't worth it. So you will take Jared Goff over him?
Over who?
Over Dak.
No, but I don't see it like as much of a difference as some people might think it is.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff has taken the team to the Super Bowl. And let me tell you something. Jared Goff last year was better than you guys thought you were going to get. He was really good. That offense was putting up 30 points every week.
That is. Yeah.
I mean, you had the little lull in the middle of the season, but let me tell you something. And not only that, he was doing it with Swift never playing.
Yeah. Sergio, listen, he had a solid year in my opinion. I think you could have did just the same.
There's no being too.
I'm not. I ain't doing that.
Being too critical of.
I'm not being too critical. I'm just realist.
Think about what you had before him now. Before Stafford and those, right? Like you guys had Stafford, but before that it was like trying to find something that would, know what I mean?
And that's where I'm cool with that with Goff. That is where I'm cool with him. But I'm gonna tell you this though, we gotta get you back on because we play y'all again this year. Cowboys. I'm so sick of losing y'all. I still hate the picked up flash scenario. I'm just sick of it. Y'all should have lost to the Lions so many times.
Why do you hate the Cowboys? I don't hate the Lions. I don't even think about the Detroit Lions.
I don't hate the Cowboys. I just don't like the press they get. It's like they act like they're this greatest team of all time based off something that happened back in the day.
I had an NFL owner say to me one time that there are 2 sets of rules in the NFL. One for the 31 teams and the other one for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the whole league was selling Coke and the Cowboys sold Pepsi.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is why, because it moves the needle, because the media, when you watch these shows, but the same thing that you're saying is the same reason why I don't watch ESPN. I don't watch these talk shows because it's the same 6 topics. LeBron, Steph Curry, the Cowboys, the Steelers, the
Giants.
Giants maybe with a, if they're going through it, if they're having a decent season, the Eagles, they get a little thing because they're close to,
Mahomes, Burrow.
It's always the same 6 topics. Yeah.
See, one thing I noticed about ESPN, they love talking about LA sports. They love talking about LA sports.
In New York.
And notice when they do it from a guy who's been there, it's always in the back end of the show because of the time difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I've noticed they talk a lot about the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Dodgers, and the Yankees. No problem with the Yankees, but they talk about a lot about that too. So
but the shows don't speak any baseball or hockey. Like these shows like First Take, and I don't watch that garbage. Because to me, those guys aren't sports fans like us. And and they've been colleagues of mine, but they're not sports fans. They're topic fans. In other words, I'll give a perfect example. When we decided to, when you guys invited me on your show, you said to me, "Hey, sir, I'll let you know what we're going to speak about." What did I say to you?
It was all about us.
Don't worry about it. Whatever you throw at me, I got you.
Yeah, you did.
That's being able to do a national show. That's being able to communicate and do stuff. My mom could read a newspaper and read 6 columns on the Giants and then go speak about the Giants for an hour and regurgitate that's what these guys do. They sit there, they prep the entire show verbatim by topic. Here, they get it the day before, and now I'm here spewing out facts that you spend the whole night Googling because you don't watch these teams play.
Right.
Those guys, if you said to Stephen A. Smith, "Hey, what do you think of Riley Green?" He's going to think Riley Green's a retired NBA player from 1974. I don't know.
That's true.
I'm just saying. And listen, I'm not knocking his hustle. I'm just saying I can't watch that when I know it's scripted.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather watch you three talk about the Detroit Tigers because at least I know you watch the goddamn team play every day.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you know what?
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that. And you know what, too, Serge? Like the first takes, the Undisputed is the first things first, all those shows. Now, when they want to talk baseball or they want to talk hockey, the only time we all know is the time they talk about them is something bad happens.
Racial.
Yeah.
Something bad happens, or
somebody in hockey called somebody the N-word, or they threw a monkey on the damn ice, or in baseball, how come there's no black manager? It's never the shit that guys like us want to hear.
Yeah,
exactly.
It'd be like say last year with the Aaron Judge,
the home run case, correct?
The home run thing.
Correct.
They was talking about that on first take or Undisputed stuff. Other than that, if it ain't nothing consistently like how would they talk NBA, how they talk NFL, and all that.
Right.
They ain't
but
talking about it.
But even with the NFL and NBA, they do it because it's like, remember the whole thing that happened with the running backs? You had Joe Mixon back in the day, and then you had Kareem Hunt come after that. How they just use those guys to stage yourself in topics, and then we sitting there eating it up like, yeah, this guy's really like, but they both in on it together. This is a preset show. They knew what they were going to say going prior into it. So why are you getting yourself emotionally caught in it? That's why I can never understand about it. And I never watched that during that time.
I don't watch much. I'll listen to national shows. I'll listen to podcasts. Like I told you, I want you on my show because I know that my audience is going to get legit Detroit Lions stuff when we talk about it. By the way, I think the Lions are going to be really good this year. I watched the Lions play a lot because of fantasy. I loved Swift. I had him. He never freaking played, but I watched the Lions. I had Goff. Goff is a great fantasy quarterback because he puts up a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
But the schedule this year plays for you guys. I think you guys are going to be all right. Except, you got 4 teams, or how many teams you have? The Eagles, the Lions. Who else you have?
I'm just lying.
Well, no, he's talking about me.
I'm talking about him.
Yeah. Well, I got the Clippers, but that's another subject for another.
No, I'm talking about in football. You're like my dad.
I just got two.
My dad's got a record. His baseball teams have won the World Series the last 70 years because he's a Yankee fan. But as soon as a team is off to a hot start, he's like, "Oof, boy, I love Tampa." He buys himself a Tampa. He'd be like, with his Tampa hat. And then as soon as the next team is in the playoffs, he shows up the next day and be like, that's a Phillies hat. By the time the World Series comes, he's got both hats there. He's got a record that will never be broken.
That's all like you describing me.
Man,
that's all like you describing me.
Look, what I couldn't stand growing up was everybody is a Patriot fan, and they've been rocking with the Patriots since the 80s. And then, as soon as Tom Brady is gone, nobody talks about him anymore.
Nobody talks
And
about
then
that's the same with the Colts too, with Peyton Manning.
correct.
All this when Peyton Manning's gone.
Steelers.
No.
Another guy who liked Chris Paul left a lot of meat on the bone too.
Yeah,
A lot of losses as a 1 seed.
Yeah, but at least he got two. At least he got some championships.
Well,
So-
listen, now you're right. You're gonna give him the one with Denver where he was handing the ball off. Okay, that's fine.
You know what though? But here's the thing why I gave him credit for that.
He was handicapped.
I had
but
the
at
same
least
surgery he did, so I feel his pain. I had fusion surgery.
at least he got a championship, unlike CP0.
Yeah. But at least I gave Peyton Manning.
I'm gonna use that CP0.
I gave Peyton Manning credit for that final Super Bowl for one reason, because Brock ass for water was so terrible as a quarterback. Like, you supposed to be young, healthy. You can't throw the ball no better than old crippled Peyton Manning. He was turning the ball over, and Peyton had to figure it out for him and understood what the assignment was. So that tells you that at the end of the day, though, that quarterbacks is more mental than it is, in your arm or your legs. You have to understand the transition of the game. If you need to run the ball, run the ball. People think it's just as simple as turn around, hand the ball off. No, you have to understand what the defense is lining up to. And he did show his smarts there. That's why I gave him credit for that. Otherwise, it was the defense. You know what I'm saying?
Some 0-16 said that Rondo's better than Chris Paul.
Yeah. Hey,
that's funny.
At least he got 2 championships.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, and he stepped up in plenty of big games too. Rondo, I just thought about that.
Big game player.
Dang, knocking down shots that I've never seen him not.
So, Sergio, I want to ask you, how do you feel about the Detroit Pistons? How do you feel about them?
Listen, the thing with the Pistons that is concerning to me is the constant revolving of the agenda. In other words, so there's a game plan in place, right? And you go through this and you set up we're going to do it through the draft. We're going to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then you get to the certain point, and when you think you're going to be all right, they fire the coach, they get rid of the GM, and now it's a whole thing. And now, before you know it, they'll be trading Cade. Like, personally, I thought Ivy was the best player in the draft coming out, me personally.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, are you going to keep these guys together? Are you going to keep, Killian Hayes there? Or what's the Isaiah Stewart? I mean, they have a lot of young talent, But are we going to let these guys play and develop? Or are we going to be, a revolving door of what the process is, I guess is, to steal the Philadelphia top. At least they stuck to the game plan. They said, we're going to lose. We're going to get these guys and blah, 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 blah. I just see like it changes a little too often in Detroit.
Yeah. I see that point.
Yeah, injuries too. I think they got a lot of injuries on that team too.
I mean, did you guys even win 20, 22 games this year?
We lost 17.
About 17.
That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable because there's better talent, especially in a league where everybody is in play every night. You got to commit to defense. You got to commit. You got to commit to just a game plan and just stick to it. If they do it for 2 years, there's enough talent there. And the Eastern Conference stinks. Let's be honest. The Eastern Conference stinks. It shouldn't take much to get into the top 8.
Yeah, that's the facts. Now, we've been saying it, myself, Nomans, we've been saying this too about this Pistons. Defense. Pistons has not playing defense all season long. And we've been saying this the whole entire season. It was like players not buying in, they're not buying in the switching off to this man and that man, or getting rebounds, getting block shots. They wasn't communicating on defense. And I don't know, it's part of maybe it's just me. Maybe part of they wasn't buying into what Casey strategy was doing. Or part of it could have been, they are minded. They just, they're young. They still got a lot of growing to do to help themselves to be a better defense.
But Bogdanovich was a 20-point scorer. I mean, you guys have a lot of guys that can fill it up, but I agree with you. You got to defend. At some point, you got to get these young guys to defend. There's plenty of scoring there. Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. Now, listen, I'm out of the NBA. I'm not in my NBA mode right now outside of, what I'm seeing in the playoffs. But I remember towards the end of the year talking about the Pistons, and they had about 7 or 8 guys averaging double figures. How many teams have that?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Right?
That's true.
Sadiq Bey, too, I think, was one of those guys, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Wiseman. I mean, come on. There's plenty of talent there where those guys should be performing better on a night in, night out basis to have more than 17 wins. Yeah. Unacceptable.
Yeah. And it's been games that we watched, Pistons games, that they had opportunities to win, to win the game. They had the lead and they blew it. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, not playing defense and, and then they taking ill-advised shots, bad shots. You know what I'm saying? They not running back on transition at times. So part of, too, is like when you got younger players like an Ivy and, Stewart and those guys and Jalen Duren, a lot of young talent. It's growth. But like I said, we had support. We have to play defense and try to play defense. Saying that, compete. You look at some games, you like, okay, Pistons we competing at times, and then the games like we just not competing.
And they have a lot of guys that I like too that don't even play. RJ Hampton's still there, right? He's a guy that has a lot of talent. He's a high draft pick. The kid from Kansas, Diallo, right?
Yeah, Diallo.
Yeah, Hamidou Diallo. Yep.
Or Kentucky, not Kansas, Kentucky. There's players there.
Yeah. They need to figure out their identity too, or what they want to do with that team.
Yeah, that's my point. For me, it's not a talent thing; it's an identity thing. Who are we? See, you gotta hang your hat every night on what you do well. See, and again, like I said, I'm not telling you the Knicks are ever going to win a championship. They're not. But they can hang their hat every night on their defense as long as that guy is coaching. Mm-hmm. There's an identity to their team. Miami hangs their identity on the fact that they're going to be a solid, fundamental team. Golden State is going to shoot the ball. Denver is going to kill you with their movement on offense. Everybody does their thing. You have to have an identity. The Pistons, they show up to the arena 2 hours before to play a game.
Yeah. That's true. They have to have identity. They got to figure out what coach they want, and then it just goes from there.
Yeah, and you have that coach.
Here,
go ahead, no.
Oh no, I was gonna say another thing that why we're lacking on defense too, man. The Pistons have spent some kind of money over the last couple of years, but the problem is that there's a lot of free agent talent that's not looking to come here. So they are in a bad spot. No, Detroit is not usually a free agent destination. Not even for Knicks here.
Do they not want to go there based on basketball or based on the economics of the city? Because when I was growing up, Detroit was a destination place.
It's probably a city more so.
But a lot of the traditional Detroit people don't even live there. You guys, your population's low now, right?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah,
it's getting there.
And to answer your question, it's a mixture of both.
Yeah,
it's a mixture of both because, like I said, the economy of the city of Detroit is not good at all. Due to a lot of of course the crime rate is so high. you know, and we've been in the top 10 of crime rate every year, you know, and it's like, you know, when you get, you know, free agent, it's like I said, it's not a free agent destination.
But those guys ain't living it, and they're not
No.
living in the hood. I mean,
Because Chicago just as, if not worse.
Chicago's
And that's why I was on.
Yeah, Chicago. But
listen, you have to tell me, I grew up in Newark, bro. So
yeah, so you would think if they had if
my roaches carried guns.
hey, New Jersey driving is fine, is huh?
Oh my God, man, those some big ass rats.
And I was in that. That was my generation. You know, that's what I grew up with. We were. I mean, Newark's bad, bro. You know, and you know, but I don't think that ever stopped guys from coming to play with the Giants or the Jets because those guys ain't living there anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. That's true. Because most of these athletes is gonna stay in the suburbs and in mansions and different cities and stuff too. So you're not gonna see too many of them that's actually gonna stay in the city.
Yeah.
I've never been to Detroit.
Mm.
Mm.
And I feel like I've coached everywhere in this country. I've never been to Detroit.
Yeah. What?
So this is closest to Detroit you've been on our podcast.
100%.
And you know what? Our show.
And people gotta understand because I know we get a bad rap with like all the stuff that goes on, the crime and stuff. But when people come down, they don't understand how much good stuff that we have here, and people don't realize it till they come down. Because I notice a lot of out of towners, they come down and they love it. And plus, we're close to Canada too, so we're not that far from Canada.
Yeah, we're like a bridge
right
away.
across the water.
You guys go over or no?
Oh yeah,
No,
I do.
I haven't been in so long over the Windsor. So
it's nice.
But and then too, it was an article that I read about. They said Detroit is one of the top 10 destination attractions in the world. That people that comes from all over the world, they said Detroit is one of the top 10 attraction.
When the Cowboys play there, right?
Huh?
When the Cowboys play there?
No. Just no.
I'm glad he said that though, because the last time Cowboys was in Ford Field, I was because I worked down there. I do security, right? So I'm hearing cheering going on. This is when this year we had like those backup quarterbacks. Matt Patricia's fat ass was here, and I'm sitting here hearing cheering. And then I looked at the screen. It's no.
Matt Patricia's an offensive coordinator.
No, he with the Eagles now.
Yeah, Matt Patricia.
Yeah. He's a defensive assistant.
Do I look like Matt Patricia now?
Oh man, I saw so many Cowboy jerseys in that stand. It didn't make no sense.
200 more pounds.
Yeah.
Or as we call them, Maddie Fatty.
Yeah, Fat Trisha.
Yeah, Fat Trisha.
Fat Trisha, yes.
Yeah, people gotta understand it is a lot down here in the city. It's just people just gotta just really see how it is, the river walks, the downtowns.
You should come for the draft,
the Grand Prix and everything. So it's nice.
Yeah, Sergio, you should definitely come down for the draft next year.
You know how comfortable I watch the draft in my living room? No, wait a minute. Give me one good reason why me, as a Knicks fan, would go to a draft in Detroit.
Well, because we turn the city up down here, man.
I'm speechless.
It's gonna be live down there, man. Listen, downtown in Detroit's pretty fun. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
But I would like to go down there and root when my team has a pick.
Hey, and you might want to come down next year because we got the draft here next year.
Yeah.
We got the NFL draft next year.
Yeah, NFL that okay. I thought we were talking about NBA. But yeah.
No, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay. The NFL draft next year. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys were trying to get me there when there was an NBA draft.
Oh no, we know y'all ain't coming for that.
I don't even know when they're gonna have that down here.
Yeah, we haven't had an All-Star game in Detroit in forever.
Well, you got to get an All-Star first.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Drummond, but
they done pretty much had it everywhere but here.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. We've had a Super Bowl here, but we won't have an NBA All-Star.
Yeah, we
got SummerSlam for WWE coming down here in August.
I remember the second WWF WrestleMania was in the Silver Dome, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You guys.
What times?
You guys are pretty good, man. I gotta pop you guys. I gotta pop you guys up.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man. Definitely.
No doubt. Let me know if you guys get like good feedback from the show, and if I can help you guys out with anything, I will. Information,
appreciate it.
Content.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
I don't know if everybody's got 2 hours like me to jump on, but I can get you guys, some guests that'll at least help you build the content.
We definitely appreciate it.
That's appreciated. We about to give you your flowers right now, man.
Roses
for appreciation.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything for me, man. We're brothers. This is the way it should be. This is what it should always be about, right? We should help make each other better. And you guys reached out, and we made it work.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Much appreciate you, man. Like, real, this is epic for me. Like, real.
Just as yes, absolutely, man. We love to have you on, man.
Yes.
Great.
I told him he'd come back on Cowboys week when we face him. I said, just for a little fun rivalry.
It's got to be later, because early in the year, you guys are. I didn't even look at the Cowboys schedule.
I think it's towards the end of the season.
Yeah, it's got to be towards the end, because I know early in the year It's funny because I looked at the Lions schedule for fantasy purposes to see if I was going to keep anybody, whatever. And I didn't even look at the Cowboys schedule. I think we do open up. The Cowboys open up easy because they have the Giants on opening day. But other than that,
I do got one question for one Cowboy player that I really am interested in, because he's been under your radar for a minute. I think his name is Sam Williams. That dude's solid to me.
Sam, but what in particular do you want to know?
No, I'm just saying, like, what's the word with him? Like, has he got to be? Is he getting better with y'all now? Because he had a good game against us.
Yeah, I don't know much in terms of health, because I don't follow the Cowboys really in the offseason, so I don't know what's going on. But the Cowboys up front drafted some size, which was needed. Right now, Williams plays DN, so I don't know how they're going to use him moving forward. But the Cowboys had a need up front in terms of size.
Yeah.
Listen, he had a nice year. He had about 4 or 5 sacks. He wasn't a game changer, But all those guys that come out of the SEC, they always play well. Most of those guys, they're battle tested.
Yeah.
Y'all do got Mozzie Smith. And so y'all drafting Mozzie Smith, and he over there with the Cowboys, unfortunately.
The Cowboys draft, I was happy with the draft in terms of necessity.
Yeah.
Right? They needed size up front, and then we lost Dalton Schultz, so we needed a tight end. So, let me tell you something. I have a buddy of mine. By the way, I'm a St. John's guy. We play Michigan this year here. But I have a buddy of mine who's a huge Michigan fan. Huge sports guy named Mike Pellegrino. He's always down to talk Michigan football and Michigan basketball. You guys don't like Michigan? You guys are Michigan State?
Oh, no.
Well,
I'm in general, but I love Michigan and Michigan State both. But these guys,
I
they are.
see roll in his eyes.
I say this. I'm a fan of both. I'm just more of a state fan, more than Michigan, but I am a fan of both.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm more Michigan State than Michigan. Now, that's the crazy part too. I work in Ann Arbor, and I see U of M every day. I go, because I am a bus driver at the city of Ann Arbor.
Okay.
And I literally drive routes, go through by the campuses all day. Central Campus and North Campus.
When I was a young Thundercat in high school in Newark, we had to be careful what we wore. We had to stay neutral sometimes. See, these kids nowadays, they don't understand what it's like to see. They grow up, almost their entire neighborhoods are just one set, one group of people. We would have blocks, like the next block you had to, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. So I was a big hat wearer. I used to rock a Michigan State hat because green was neutral to everybody.
Oh,
So now it's the same thing in Lansing, the same thing in Ann Arbor. Yeah, when Michigan State, when it comes to the sports, we get at each other.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this in Ann Arbor, don't walk around with Ohio State gear.
I hate Ohio State.
Don't walk around and get. I seen, some crazy. I'm
a Hurricane football fan, by the way, so I can't stand Ohio State.
Yeah. And I know you was hurt that year when
you mean when they threw the flag 5 seconds after the damn play?
Yeah. That Maurice.
Don't even get me started on that, or we'll have to do another hour.
Oh, man. Right. Miami should have won that one.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't tell you it's crazy. There's a couple of people that lives in Ann Arbor that are Ohio State fans. How do you do it? You can't. Now, if you Michigan State, you somebody, that's fine. But you cannot with Ohio State. I've seen some people walking up, and especially when every year they say, well, when Michigan plays Ohio State, when Ohio State comes in town, I'm telling you, that whole entire week, bunch of Ohio State fans already downtown Ann Arbor.
They're lucky. They're lucky. If I was a stick-up kid, I'd be holding them up.
Man, it should be against the law for them dudes to come down here wearing that.
Back next year, right?
and I'm quite sure. When Michigan fans go to Columbus and take their territory, I'm quite sure Ohio State fans don't like it, but so be it. Oh well, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's true. They be harassing the fans, talking about them.
Yeah,
following them, cursing them out. I've seen videos of them last year doing it. It's like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but it's fans that's passionate that will do that.
Yeah.
Hey, do me a favor before we get off. Text me your shirt sizes. I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you some gear from my travel organization. I run a large nonprofit for kids. We go all over the country with softball. We're really pretty good, but I'm gonna send you guys Sergio Rodriquez shirts.
Oh, sweet.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate that
so much.
But then you got to do a show with it on.
That's
no problem.
All right.
That's not a problem.
Send the size. Send the sizes.
Sure.
I got you.
We got you.
No problem.
Definitely.
No problem.
I appreciate you guys. I really do.
Hey, we appreciate you, brother.
We
appreciate you, man.
You could come back anytime, man.
Anytime.
You guys
can speak about anything you want to as well, man.
No, you guys let me know. You guys let me know, and I'll always be around.
Thank you.
All right, definitely,
yes,
man.
Sir.
All right. Are you guys? You wrap up the show. How do you do it? How do you do your exit? You wrap up and then you go off, or we all just press end?
We do final thoughts. Wrap it up before we.
I'm gonna stay for that.
Okay.
Let's do this right.
Yep.
Let's do this right.
Yes.
Today, before we go on Friday Thursday, I want to say again, thank you, Sergio, man. Appreciate you very much. If you want to start the final thoughts, you are more than welcome, sir.
Me?
Yes,
if you
sir.
want to. If you want
Hey,
to.
listen. A lot of things that we touched here in terms of sports, but a couple of things that are relevant right now. Baseball, if you really want to focus on the season,
Mhm.
there's going to be about 5 or 6 teams that are going to have an opportunity in each league to make an impact based on the fact that for whatever reason, the talent level has balanced out with the young and the old, i.e., look at
They'll
Baltimore,
take over.
right? So that's something to keep an eye on. In basketball, I believe that Denver is going to winning the series. I know the Lakers are up 9 midway through the third, but Michael Porter is beginning to shoot the ball better. So let's see. I still believe that's Denver's series to win. We spoke about the Tigers, but being on with you guys, refreshing. Like I said, I love the fact that you guys are sports fans, not sitting here doing scripted shows. There's certain, I'll even show you this. So I have certain reads that I do, right? Sponsors, but they're all sponsors. I don't script anything when I do my show. I don't. So all those takes on reels, and it's funny, all those reels that you see on my Instagram, all of them are my producers on time asking me a question and me answering, or us going through a topic and just talking about it. I don't sit there and script it. I've never liked that because I don't think you get that genuine effect. But again, much love. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I hope the Pistons turn it around because I did root for the Pistons a lot when I was a kid because I used to like Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Definitely.
sir.
Definitely, man.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you, man. Bree, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah, man. I've had so much of a fun time with this show, with talking to everybody, and you too, Sergio, man. And I really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. And it's just been a fun talk. Just we just talking freely, man. It's just like it's almost like family members just coming up with something,
Absolutely.
and we just talking about it, man. And we don't even know how long we talked. It's just been so much of a good conversation, and that's how it should be.
Absolutely.
And I love things like this, man. And it's just a wonderful thing. And again, we just appreciate you coming on, man. You got the green light every time to come on, man. And if we have some advice that we need from you, man, we could just ask and you could just give it out.
You have my cell number. Give me a call. I'll look at 2 or 3 previous shows because I also didn't want to do that. I didn't want to come on with any ideas. I wanted to jump on your show. So I'm going to listen to 2 or 3 of your shows and I'll share what little expertise I have.
Okay. And what I'm gonna do is with this show, I'm actually send it to you through the Instagram and your number too.
Yeah, send that, and we'll definitely post it on our YouTube. Definitely.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
gentlemen. Take care.
Yeah, you too as well, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
All right.
It was a great show, man. Having Sergio on, man. It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
We, like you said, guys, we building this content up, man. We gonna continue, we gonna grow this thing together. It's not no competition, none. We ain't trying to be competition with anybody, none of that, man. We just trying to, we just out here just want to show that we are actual sports fans. We ain't, like you said, we ain't the guys that scripted, you know what I'm saying, and all that stuff, man. We out here real sports fans, so is having a guy like Sergio Rodriguez is very huge, man. We gonna have more guests coming through, man, as well, man. So we definitely gonna have more guests. So it's definitely, man, it was a blessing. And this is just like I said, this is a beginning. You know what I'm saying? So what we doing? And Bree, you know what I'm saying, you being a third member are the XP, man. And like I said, we just gonna continue to grow this thing, man. We
Yes,
got each
sir.
other back. We're gonna continue to grow this thing to make it better. Um, so yeah, man, just
Yes, sir.
having Sergio on, and I know we're gonna have more guests, so make sure, everybody, stay tuned, what I'm saying, make sure y'all continue to share the spread the word out. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also make sure y'all follow us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram, man. We definitely gonna be continuing posting consistent content, man. So it's definitely, man, it's gonna be we getting there. We getting there. You
Yeah.
good, no? We good, no?
It's only the beginning, man.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's only the beginning.
I'm sorry. Had some family situation, man. Mom's is okay.
She okay?
She was all right. So,
Okay. No, that's
okay. I had to go help her, but that was all it was. Just I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up, man, and thank you again to Sergio, man. He was wonderful.
Yeah.
I was so nervous when he came. Decided to come on the show. I didn't know how it was gonna go. You know what I'm saying? As y'all said, technical difficulties, so but we got through it. But shout out to my brothers on here, man. Y'all know y'all the best co-hosts I could ask for.
Appreciate that.
And for real.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
thank you
sir.
again to Sergio, man. I'm just
Definitely.
honored. I never thought in years that our channel would have this like this, man. But again,
Speechless, man. Just to have somebody that in this of the stature of him to want to come on his show and talk to us, man. It just tells the type of person that he is, man. And I value that. I appreciate that to the heavens, man. It's like it's just I'm at a loss for words, man. I still can't believe it.
Yeah.
It just tells you, like, if you reach out to people, you just never know.
Yep, absolutely.
Never know. Just keep going at your dream, and it'll happen, man. You know?
Absolutely, man. Definitely. Yeah, absolutely, man. So it's been, like I said, it's been a great show.
Much love
man.
to y'all in the chat.
Yep.
Kings, 16, Big A, Mondo, Dante.
Shout out to all them guys out there, man, that was on the chat, man, today that came through. Shout out to all those guys, man. Appreciate y'all support. You know what I'm saying? We gonna continue to build this thing up. Like I say, the guys like Owen 16 always come through. Big Willie Styles, Big A, Ray, other guys, man, come through to show the love and support, man. We definitely gonna always show love and support with y'all guys as well, man. So definitely, man. So no, man, you done with your final thoughts? Or you got a little bit more before we get out of here?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You good? You good on the final thoughts? You good on yours, Bree?
Oh yeah, I'm good, man.
Oh yeah, right. Just shout out to the Sergio for coming on, man, and just having just more people on. working on a special guest for Monday show. He's got some credentials as well, so hoping to get him on, working on that as we speak. But shout out to Bruce Hope, man. This guy, he sent him everything, and then he liked the beat of the promos that Noma's did. So shout out to him, and just Mojo Sports, Santiago Sports, and just everybody, man. This We Three Kings, the Bruhs here. Just shout out to everybody, man. Just that's everything for me.
That's it. Well, all right, man. You know, fellas, we came up with 2 hours of the show, man. It's been a great show. Like I said, thank you for Sergio to coming through, man, and and give us his takes on the sports, and we definitely gonna have him back on the show. We definitely gonna be going on his show. So definitely, man, y'all just make sure y'all continue. Everybody spread the word. Continue to hit that like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit that, make sure y'all follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. So as that being said, fellas, it's been another great show. We out of here. Everybody have a blessed night. Peace out. And it's also brought to you by OnlyFans and StreamYard.
Mm-hmm. But an exclusive.
Learn it.
Enough.